live. How's everyone doing? So we are back straight onto the live. These are going to start being promoted pretty soon, as soon as I nail down a date. But I want to dive straight into it because I want to treat these like a live, and I also want to treat these as like a video for people to watch later. So have you ever noticed, or have you noticed, that your feed is starting to look less like a studio and more like, the back room, or like, the sort of street corner, as it were? Well, today's episode is where we're going to be going into that. It's not just random, it's not just the algorithm changing things up, it's how creators are starting to design their content to be more raw, more real, ultimately, compared to the flashy studio. Now, of course, you still get a couple of those, but we're seeing a shift. We're seeing that people want to see the authentic side of content creation and want to see people being themselves and want to see the imperfect perfection, if you want to put it that way. So we'll be diving into the rise of street interview ads on today's episode, YouTube's multi-stream shorts editor, and Facebook's in-stream job listings, what these all mean to you, exactly how you can use them to benefit your business, to benefit your content that you're creating, and basically be making more moves within your marketing to get the views that you want, to optimize your profile, to optimize your content, and taking it from there. So first of all, I just want to take a minute to introduce myself. I am Callum Richards. I am the owner of CRSOCIALS. These lives are mainly just about, exactly as I've mentioned there, I pick 2 to 3 of the top trending tools, top trending headlines that have happened within the past week on social media. I tell you exactly what they mean, exactly what it means for brands, what it means for businesses, how you can use it to apply into your marketing, into your strategy to get more customers, more views, more clients, more money. That's the full aim of it all, and how I'm using it as well. So you've actually got a real world case study. So first one is the street interview ad revolution. So what's ultimately happening here, we've all seen the videos of people going out on the street, interviewing people about trending topics. News pretty much started this way back when people watched it and it was sort of relevant. They go out on the street, they'd ask members of the public exactly what's going on. People loved it because they got to see people exactly like them talking about topics and giving their opinions on it. Ads are starting to go about this the same way. And there was a brand, I believe it was a body wash, I can't remember if it was Daniel Mac or the Daily Dropout, but they were basically going out onto the street and trying to get people to smile someone, as stupid as that sounds, but there's a means to the madness. They were trying to get people to smile them, as in regards to an ad. How's it going, Jubes? No problem. And they found it very difficult. They found it very difficult to actually get people to engage. They found it very difficult to get people to talk to them. And they were mentioning that, on some days it's really easy and they'll have everybody speaking to them. And then some days nobody wants to know and they're chasing people and people are turning away and seeing things. I can imagine, obviously, from what I've seen from how they were running the ad, there was people dressed in these funny costumes and trying to get people to literally smile at somebody else. You imagine being approached on the street and somebody saying, "Can you smile me?" It's obviously going to throw a couple of people off. But the best part about this is the fact that they were using this as an ad. It wasn't just for a piece of content. It wasn't just a random piece of content. It was a way to get testimonials, get real life feedback, to get reviews on the product in front of the audience and making it feel real, making it feel raw and authentic. And the best part about this is people are slowly starting to realise that ads, especially with loads of Instagram and Meta, it tells you it's an ad. You can see it's a sponsored post, or it's squeaky clean, super polished. So people are starting to pick up on it and realise that they're being sold to. How this brand's going about it in a different way is they're making it as raw as possible, especially when you're doing something. This is why lives can be very powerful, because when you're doing something with members of the public, straight up, you're not scripting them, you're not approaching them, you're not telling them on the side, "Oh, this is what you've got to say and we'll give you this." I hope they're not doing that. It makes it 10 times more impactful for the viewer who might have no interest in the product before watching the video, or even just a slow interest in the product, because now they're seeing actual people giving reviews rather than these sort of polished presenters, these polished creators reading off a script for 40 to 60 seconds, telling them why they should buy this best thing in the world. The audience could quite easily turn around and be like, it smells like, it was basically like a smelling, I think it was a body wash. Let me double check, let me make sure. I think that's why they were getting people to smell them. I'm hoping it was either a body wash or a perfume, or it was just weird, but yeah, body wash. So it makes sense in that ways and means of the content. It makes sense. Now, of course, if you're going to use this in your content, it's going to depend, and you're going to have to approach it depending on what your product is, what your service is. How's it going, mate? You're all Mutaba. Sorry if I've pronounced that wrong. And Bella, how's it going? Can get that one, I hope. And so it's going to depend on the content, the context, and what your product is, because there's no point in you going up and asking people to smell you if you're selling a chair. Now, what you might do is, how's it going, Siri? Oh, mate, killing me with these names, guys. Sirius Splifato 87. How's it going? Yeah, if you're getting people to smile you and you're selling chairs or anything like that, it's going to be a nightmare. It's not going to be something that is going to be relatable to the context. So, of course, bear that in mind when you're doing it. I just want to quickly check out the chat, because there's been an influx. YouTube tends to do this, gives you an influx of people, then or in my lives anyway, it's an influx of people, then goes down to one, then it's an influx of people, and then goes down to one. But hey, I'll take it. I want to make sure I'm engaging with all of you guys the whole way. So it's your girl, Harper. Who's your favourite singer? I like old music at the moment. I'm quite into my 50s music. So I like Sam Cooke is a big one. Elvis, I like. There's loads. I bounce up and down. Sometimes I listen to a bit of 50s music, and then I'll jump up and listen to funk. I like a bit of funk when I'm driving. If I'm not listening to like a podcast or audio book, I like some funk just to jump about. Bella, I'm going to subscribe, and I appreciate that, Bella. I really do appreciate you guys for jumping in the chat. Anybody that takes the time to message, it is very much appreciated. Sir Spliff, a lot of... Sir Spliff. Got it now. How's it going, man? You're right. Bella, no, I'm not going to ignore you. Don't worry. I'm just going through the chats, as I say, and then I'll jump back into the content. I like Sam Fender. People watching. Who is Sam Fender? Terrible with names. Terrible with names. If you tell me a song or write a couple of lyrics, I might know it there. My favourite's Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran's top quality, I do have to say. I don't listen to him too much. I've not listened to any of his new stuff. But when he come out with like A-Team and... What's the one where he raps really quick? He was like, he come out with A-Team, then he come out with that one, and he just went massive. But yeah, I love Ed Sheeran. And there was the blue one, The Void, and he just took over the charts in the UK. That was a great album. Luigi, yeah man, sound here. 50S 70. Oh, 50. Yeah. 100%. I love a bit of 50s, love a bit of 70s, 80s. I love all music that I think's good. I don't know if other people think it's good, but I think it's good, so I like that. Oh, never mind. Bella, I replied, don't worry. I never ignore anybody. That's why I make sure that I go through the content and always jump back in the chats, because I don't want to ignore anyone. From Newcastle upon Tyne, UK. How's it going, Zombie? From Birmingham myself. Hope you're good, bro. My own channel is UK legal, medical and men's mental health related. Fair play to you, man. Fair play. I love hearing of how other people are growing their channels, of other people creating content, because it's daunting, man, especially if you're doing YouTube, because it's a big platform, do you know what I mean? It's massive competition. All platforms have got massive competition, but YouTube especially, because you've got that long form sort of thing to factor in as well. It's not just blasting out a load of shorts on here. It's, Instagram, TikTok, it's just short. But here you've got to be in front of the camera, speak to people, come up with the content ideas. So fair play to you, Zombie. I'd love to, not Zombies, to Spliffs a lot. But let us know how it goes. Let us know how it's going. Oi, Zombie, I'm just along the road in Ashington. Who's a good singer? Billy Fury. And on that note, you get it. You get my joke. On that note, I'm going to go back to the content, guys, but of course I'll keep up with the chat. So, in terms of these street interview ads and how you can use them within your content to boost your sales, to up your marketing, to get more eyes on your account, is of course doing your own street series and actually hosting it as a series. So if you're posting 7 pieces of content, you know, a piece of content every single day. You could make every Monday is a street interview. And the best thing is about this is we all know you can go out on the street, interview 20 people, and you've got 20 weeks worth of content. Or you can obviously do it a bit closer, but functioning it into a series. As I was mentioning previously, you want to be making sure that it's going to be relevant to your content. You want to be making sure that, so I'm a marketer, I obviously would want to find a way to either sell more marketing, so I could ultimately do interviews and ask people if they've heard of this business, why they haven't heard of this business, doing reviews, going into local businesses, telling them how they can up their marketing on social media, how they can build funnels, that sort of stuff. But if you are selling coffee, for example, you could go up to, you could do a taste test. You could literally just host a taste test outside your cafe, or, you know, on a big grand sort of stage, say like something like London Bridge, like somewhere where you're going to get a lot of foot traffic, you can get a load of range of different people, and just do like a cold brew coffee taste test, or, you know, like how many coffee beans can you eat? You know, like something that's going to get attention, mix it up a little bit as well. So, and then record it. You can record it on a live, you can record it, you know, raw, and then go back and edit it, chop it up, and post that over the course of a couple of weeks, couple of days, whichever. So there's multiple ways you can use this for yourself. I think definitely going out in the street and making it as raw as possible is going to be a brilliant idea, because it avoids that too polished, that studio look that people get a little bit worried about, because when it's too polished, when it's too clean, it's fake. Especially now with some of the AI videos. If any of you guys have seen how realistic some of these Sora 2 videos are looking, other than the Sora watermark, which I already know people are getting rid of, you want to make it as real and authentic and almost as unpolished as possible without it looking like crappy. It's finding that good balance. So, of course, that's why it matters on that one. So I don't know if you guys can hear my daughter shouting in the background. She likes to try and make an appearance on these whenever she can. You guys got, so moving on to YouTube's multi-stream shorts editor. So I personally think YouTube were very late on this, but for the guys that know, they've released their own in-house editor. Now, of course, if you're looking to grow on YouTube, if you're looking to grow on Instagram, if you're looking to grow on TikTok, I would personally recommend, and they're the only platforms you're looking to grow on, I would personally recommend using their in-house editor. I'd personally recommend trying to film, trying to edit, trying to add transitions, trying to add any music, overlays, that sort of stuff. I would recommend doing it within the in-house platforms, because they're going to, whether it's a 0.1% or whether it's a 10%, they're going to favour their in-house tools, because it means that you're only using their platform, you're not using a third party and then bringing it back into YouTube. What they've basically done with the multi-stream is now you've got the video and you've got the audio. So look, anybody who's got any video editing experience, when you're doing it like on a laptop or desktop or anything like that, that's usually how it breaks down. 9 times out of 10 it's auto synced. So if I make a cut and delete, it will delete the audio as well. But sometimes it doesn't do it. I personally don't use YouTube's in-house video editor. I do mine on an external and then import it, but that's because I'm targeting 10 different platforms at the moment to test out different things. So I would say if you are picking one platform and going wholeheartedly into that one platform, most of them have now got their own in-house editors. Use them. Absolutely use them, because it just it's going to give you a little bit more. It's going to boost you a bit more. I would say so. I know they'll say, oh no, it doesn't have an effect. It's going to have an effect. Of course it is. But it gets you used to using that platform, gives you any benefits of that platform. If they've got trending sounds, and you can boost your views or boost your reach by an extra 2, 3, 4, upwards of 10% by using that sound over a sound that could potentially get you restricted on YouTube because of the copyright issues and things like that. It's going to prevent any of that. So anybody on YouTube, go to their in-house editor. Anybody on TikTok, go to their in-house editor. And then for anybody on Instagram, use Edits. Edits is pretty decent. I've used Edits. I've used them all once or twice. I'm a big fan for mobile editing. CapCut, I just think it's the easiest one. It's easy, it's simple. You can knock out an edit in like 5-10 minutes, literally just on your phone. You can do it like on the train or on the bus, however you get about. You can't do it whilst driving. Don't go on your phone whilst driving. and it's nice and easy. But that was just a quick one to give you guys an update of what YouTube are doing. As I mentioned, YouTube are having a massive influx of updates now, which I do feel like they were very late with. I do feel like they've almost looked at what everybody else is doing and gone, okay, we'll do all of that and we'll do it better. But they're all doing the same sort of thing. Most platforms are trying to keep up with the likes of AI, the likes of in-house editors. They're all just looking at one another and seeing how they can up it a little bit more. I would personally say YouTube should have the best video editor because it's the only one that hosts long form sort of content, you know, talking hours worth of content in one video. I would say that YouTube should have the best editor, but as I mentioned, I don't tend to use it. And then the final sort of main talking topic of today's live is Facebook's in-stream job listing. Yeah, Facebook are coming for LinkedIn. They're going to take over LinkedIn. They're going to wipe it off the face of the... No. So they've tried this a couple of times. Well, they've at least tried it once. And how they're trying to do it is, whereas LinkedIn's a lot more executive, so it's a lot more, you know, your marketing side of things, your ad side of things, your corporate higher tier jobs. I'm not saying that across the board all the time, but that's a lot of the time where most of LinkedIn's audience is. It's usually sort of senior management upwards, or, you know, in set trends, set niches. Facebook are trying to find a way of making like the hiring opportunities look native to their platform. So if you're like in a coffee shop that's local to you, if you're like in a bar that's local to you, they're trying to captivate the market there and have the sort of local younger jobs hooked. So that whereas, as I mentioned, with LinkedIn tends to be a little bit more sort of management side of things, Facebook are targeting the, I don't want to say lower jobs, I don't mean it like that, because it's not a lower job, like, but the more localized jobs, the more jobs that, you know, say supermarkets, cafes. So again, it's keeping everything in-house, because when you're on something like Facebook, of course, if you go Meta as a whole, Meta have got a massive platform already, because they've got Threads, they've got WhatsApp, they've got Instagram, they've got Facebook, Meta, and then they've got Meta ads. Now they start doing like job listings, obviously you can do everything on those platforms, like live streams, and they're trying to keep everything so you never have to move. Then they're bringing in, I think it's called Vibes, someone have to correct me on this, where it's just AI content. Meta just want the market, so anything that they can do to keep, and they want the market for businesses, they want the market for sort of, well, yeah, businesses, let's be honest, because they're the ones that are spending the most money on ads and making the most money on ads. So it makes sense that if they can offer more to their customers, rather than X, for example, or rather than TikTok, they can offer more by, look, not only can you reach your target audience, not only can you reach your target audience in multiple ways, rather than just, you know, not just video content, but we also support written content and we also do live content. You can now get employees onto within your company through our business. It does make sense that Meta do something like this. How successful it will be, I'm sure we'll find out, and exactly what, well, we'll find out whether it sticks around. One big thing you have to say about Meta is they're quite happy to test a load of different things, and the second it doesn't work, they just stop. They don't like tend to faff about too much. They don't tend to, oh, but if we take it down, then we don't know. They just pull it immediately. But, oh, here's OG TV on big screens. Oh, no, it don't work. And then they just take it off right away. So we can expect to see a couple of things from that. One way that we can, of course, benefit from this, or other people can, of course, benefit from this, is if you're sort of in the educational niche, if you're in the coaching niche, if you're in like the career development and you're, you know, looking for your next opportunity, posting about your job on Meta will, of course, now get you found, because, you know, there's SEO purposes and certain things around that. So the algorithm will feed you the opportunities then. So if you do use social media for job listings, I've never done it to find myself a job. I've done it to like hire other people, like hire video editors and copywriters a couple of times. But if you're using social media for your next job, it's definitely going to be worth taking a look on Facebook and starting to put yourself out there a little bit more. Of course, again, a bit more professional, I'd imagine. Then, you know, you'll imagine that image, that meme that we see of like, this is what I look like on this platform, this is what I look like on this platform, and this is what I look like. I don't think Facebook will go full LinkedIn mode because I just don't see it. I think LinkedIn coming quite smart with how they cornered that market. Of course, Meta have got the budget, so if they wanted to, they probably could. I do think they'll keep it more localised because, again, the local businesses are going to be spending a lot of money on there, so it makes sense for them to be like, oh, well, you know, because you're spending money on here, what you can also do is get hires, and if you put a bit of money behind the hiring, because they'll do, you know, ads for the hiring as well, you'll get better results and you'll find better talent and you'll scale your business even more. So those are the three main talking points today. I'll just touch over them quickly. So the raw and authentic street interview ad revolution. So that's just basically where the, you know, the street interviews that we've seen, lots of the news, and of course there's multiple content creators that have done it. They're now turning those into ads because they're raw, they're authentic, they show real people testing something in real time, and it can't be cut, it can't be polished, you can't be scripted. You see that reaction there, and then it builds that trust with your audience. So again, if you're making any sort of physical product or even a service, definitely worth sort of brainstorming, finding ways that you can do this and flip it on its head and make it so that it's captivating as well. It's not just an interview of someone going yes, no, yes, no. Look, is there a challenge you can get them to do? Is there a way you can show that your product's the best and make it into entertaining as well? So you're showing the social proof alongside the entertainment as well. YouTube multi-stream short editor. So again, that's just YouTube's in-house editors. Any platform that you're targeting, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, I would always recommend, if you're targeting one platform, to edit within that platform, because you will go into, one, you're just going to benefit through any copyright infringements, you're going to know what's trending, you're going to be keeping everything centered for that platform. So as I mentioned, I don't do that because I am targeting a lot of platforms, and I like testing different things, and I like having access, and I like finding out what's copyrighted, because if I post on like 9 different platforms and I post one song, 9 times out of 10 YouTube that it gets copyrighted on. Very rare is it TikTok, 9 times out of 10 is, as I say, YouTube. I know that song can't be used for myself, but I also know that song can't be used in the future for my clients because there's a risk of copyright. So that's just me, but of course, anybody that's growing on any platforms, that's my recommendation for that. And then final point on there was just the Facebook in-stream job listing. So if you are looking for your next job opportunity, you use Facebook a lot, it's going to be worth you putting yourself out there a little bit more in a professional manner, mentioning what trade you're in, mentioning what job opportunities you'd be open for, showing any experience that you've got, any social proof, that sort of thing, and using it to your advantage from there. Final whole topic I want to speak on here is, with this big, massive influx, and I think we can all agree over the past month, maybe 3 months, the influx of like AI and this like perfect quality content is massive. It's been huge, and it's just come in floods and floods because it's so easy to create. I don't know if any of you guys have used Sora yet, but it's so easy to create content. You literally type in a couple of words, a minute, 2 minutes, boom, videos out. People will be pumping these out like at an insane rate. And what's going to happen there is some of them are funny, and it's all going to depend on what people are making. But they're going to look too perfect. They're going to look too pristine because, of course, AI can make the hair look perfect, and it can make the background look perfect, and it can make the speech look perfect and the body look perfect. I personally think, in my opinion now, and I've heard other sort of experts mention it, is we are going to see a big flood of the imperfect, perfect content. And let me explain that for a second. Just like the street interviews, you can't beat authenticity. When it comes to selling a product or a service online, people want to know that it's real. I would much rather trust somebody who's slurring, I mean, not necessarily slurring the words, because I imagine that they're drunk, but when you're drunk, you're honest. So I'd much rather see somebody, you know, messing up on their words, not getting everything as smooth as possible, trying to work out what they want to say, rather than a pitch perfect, what I can imagine is an AI person stood there speaking, delivers all the lines exactly as you would imagine the owner of the business wants them to deliver. that to me is going to seem fake, and I'm going to struggle to trust it. So if you are a business owner or a personal brand or an online brand, it's going to be worth, rather than squeezing down every sort of millisecond and making sure every cut is perfect, every squeaky clean edit, trying and testing that raw content, trying to just grabbing your phone, hitting record, having a conversation and speaking to one person, rather than thinking you've got to speak to the millions of followers or the thousands of followers that you might have. Speak to one individual, that one core customer that you want to help that day. Pick a person, it might be someone in your DMs, it might be a comment you've seen, you can even reply to the comment directly. Start bringing in that rawness to the content, to what actually makes it. How's it going, Zainab? All good, man. And start showing people that you're a person. It's not just content that you're pumping out. You're in a studio, it's all well lit and right in front of the camera and you've got the mic and the settings. Make it so that people see you're a real person, because that's going to be more and more important as these days of content come about. They're going to be the personal brands that are built. They're going to be the personal brands that people remember because they see them as actual people. They see them as, we can guarantee that that's a person because there's too many mistakes being made, rather than if it's pitch perfect, if the script is well spoken, he doesn't stutter, he doesn't mumble, all the lighting's perfect. It's going to get harder and harder to tell whether that's AI or whether it's not. And I would personally think it's going to be harder to prompt AI to be imperfect than it's going to be to prompt it to be perfect. So just remember that for, like I mentioned, if you're a brand, local business, personal brand, anything like that, just try and bring in a little bit of roughness to your content, because I think in the long term, as we start seeing more and more AI content get pushed out there, it's going to benefit everybody much. Just a lot better. And as I say, knowing how to 10 of your pieces of content can be perfect and how you want them, I'd say that one piece of content, just do it raw. Do it off the cuff, get the video, click record, get your phone, click record, go. I just catch up on the chats to see what we've had come through and then leave you guys to it. So, you mix monkeys on there. I have no idea what that means. So, Zainab, how's it going? Bob, what's going on here? So, Bob, I will just do a quick brief on this in a second. Alethea, how's it going? Common Tommy lad? Maybe. And Zainab, I do not speak Arabic at all. I barely speak English, mate, if you want the truth. So these are my lives. These are where I go through the top trending marketing and social media trends that have happened within the past 7 days. I explain exactly what they are, how they affect businesses, how they can affect yourself, and how we can use them to benefit our marketing, to get more customers through the door, to get more sales, to get more leads, to get more money, basically. That's the main thing. As I mentioned a couple of times on these live, but I'll mention it now. Well, it might be me. It might be you mix me. I don't mind. As I mentioned a couple of times, I'm happy to, as the chats go on, I'm happy to have other conversations. What I try to tend to do is focus on a topic, come back to the chat, focus on the topic, come back to the chat, because I appreciate anybody that takes 10 seconds out of their day to watch these lives, because you're choosing to watch me over watching something else or doing something else. So it is truly appreciated. And as I say, I'm happy to talk on anything. I've spoke on football quite a lot. I've spoke on politics for about 2 seconds, and then we brushed over that one. Any questions that you have, whether it's business related, marketing related, social media related, or just a fun question like Zainab has asked here, I'm happy to answer. I'm happy to just have a chat. Ultimately, that's what these things are for. So, Zainab, what is your favourite fast food, KFC or McDonald's? Oh, man. That's a mood variant. That does depend, because sometimes when you want chicken, nothing hits as good as KFC. But then sometimes you just want a greasy burger. So, and McDonald's milkshakes are pucker as well. I'd have to flip a coin, mate. I'd have to flip a coin. I can't even just pick. I eat McDonald's more because it's easier to just get like a burger and chips and stuff like that from McDonald's. But I'd probably have to say KFC is the best. I'd love to know, look, what's yours, Zainab? Are you going KFC or McDonald's? Which one you picking? Jump on this for a second. Get this so tricky, bro. Think about it. Go on, which one? You go Mackey's, Going KFC. Going to me, if you give me the choice of everything, I'm going Papa John's because I'm a pizza guy. KFC, yeah, I do like KFC. But yeah, if you give me the choice out of everything, I'll go Papa John's. Pizza, garlic bread, chicken, bit of ice cream. I'm starving now. Absolutely starving. Just gonna check if this is working yet. I'm having issues with my email and website and everything, so it's been an absolute nightmare because I'm not the guy to be doing these sort of things. And yeah, as I say, any other questions, anything you want to fire into the chat, feel free. I'm gonna jump off this. No, my website's still not working. Papa John's. No, not like Papa John's. I'm a big fan, man. I'm a big fan of Papa John's. I have to be honest. I think out of all takeaways, that'd be the one I'd go for. Like that. Like if you could only eat one for the rest of your life, I do think I'd have to go for Papa John's. I'd struggle to not have pizza. Yeah, you'd pick KFC. Out of all of them, straight away KFC. Fair enough, man. If you know what you like, Kenny, that's the thing. You know what you like. There's no point in messing about it. I know people that go straight for Mackies and things like that as well. I know people that go straight for Chinese. Everyone's different, aren't they? Everyone knows their own thing. Yeah, go on holiday. I've been on holiday a couple of times, and then I tend to keep it local at the moment in the UK because I've got 2 young kids, so the idea of putting those 2 on a plane doesn't appeal to me whatsoever. But yeah, I've been to a couple of different places. What about? Yeah, well, yeah, I've been to a couple of places. Look, this time last year I went to Paris. That was for me and my fiance. Now we went on a holiday break there. Zainab, I think you're hungrier than me, mate, because you need some KFC in your life. I think that's what it is, ain't it? But yeah, go on a couple of holidays, man. What about you, Zainab? Do you go on any holidays? Do you disappear anywhere? Go on a break or anything like that? I think I broke my website. Me, MailChimp, on my hosting platform, I broke my website. It was working fine yesterday. I had it all set up. I had it all ready to go. I mixed up a couple of things. I think I've done a couple. I will give a shout out to long time. Yeah, it's been a long time. I was gonna look at another one this year. I wanted to potentially go to Italy for a little bit, but I'll probably knock that on the head. I'll probably have another local holiday, and then next year I'm looking at having a big family, like more side holiday, and then another big family, my girlfriend's side holiday as well, because I want my kids to go on holiday with the family like I used to when I was younger. So that's the plan. But we just keep going with it. Don't worry, I'll still be doing these lives. These lives just don't go missed. I went to Turkey, we had pools, nice food, and we enjoyed our day, and we stayed there 7 days. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Turkey. One of the companies that I used to work at before, he rented a house out there, and he had like pool, and it was like dirt cheap because he'd done it whilst the kids were meant to be in school, so you got it for cheap as anything. But yeah, I've heard good things about Turkey. I'd like to go to Turkey in the next couple of years. That's definitely on my list because I've never been. And most of the time, it's like Spanish islands and that sort of stuff I've been to. I think that's UK a lot of the time. UK, we're just going for Spain. We know it's hot. We know you've got sun. We don't get sun here. So if I can get in front of the sun, I'm happy. I'm gonna give this one more try, Zainab. I think that's you still here, my man. And if it don't work, I'm gonna give this a sign off. But I was meant to say that I do these twice a week, but I try not to push when the next one's gonna be, because I don't know 100%. I'm trying to lock in days. Monday's been my best day, which surprised me. Friday seemed to be my worst days. So I'm thinking I need to test out a couple of different days. Mondays and Tuesdays ain't bad. Early on in the week tends to be alright. I've not done, I might try like over the next couple of weeks, like just doing 2 over loads of different days, and then come maybe the new year or the back end of Christmas, I can double check to see which ones like sort of did better, which days suited people, and then promote it as well, or promote it a bit more. So that's what I used to do when I had the podcast. I'd promote it, and you tended to get a few more views, but without people knowing. This is just on swipe feed. I think people are just going through shorts and they just see my face here getting stressed out because I broke my website. I don't think, the worst thing is I ain't broke my opt-in page. I just broke my website, because I'm sure if I click, I am positive if you type on love holidays, we'll show you all of it, and I'll log all the holidays, so you should check it. No, very good. It doesn't trick me. I'll have to check that out, man. Love holidays. There's a couple of different ones I've heard a couple of different things about, from go to holiday pictures. Oh, you like it and like save it sort of thing. I get what you mean. So then you I bet you by the end of it, you've got a list of like 20 countries, ain't you, that you want to go to? Is that what tends to happen? So what happened with me, I get carried away. And just, before I know it, I've got 15 countries that I want to go to, all saved. And then they start sending me emails like, oh, you got to go this month. I have 100% broke my website. Oh, my heartbroken. I'm going to have to run this back through ChatGPT. This is what happens when you start messing with things. This is what goes on. It was all fine. It was working okay yesterday. I made a couple of changes to the DNS settings, and now this is where I am. And to say that, not trying to sound smart, but to make you realise that I should not be touching this sort of stuff, because this is not me. I'm content, I'm marketing, I'm not, the website side of things is not my forte. But we live and learn, we keep trying to do things. We do just testing stuff, just doing different things just to see what results bring in. That's pretty much what I'm just doing here now, is basically usually I do the live, sign off and jump off, so I just thought I'd hang about for a little bit just to basically be on a live. I'm going to be sat in front of my computer and talking to ChatGPT in a minute, so I'm not going to be moving from this space anytime soon. I would love it if it worked. If this worked, I'm going to be very happy. If this works, I can get some sleep today. If it doesn't work, I'm going to be up all night trying to work out how to get so you work, my blogs work, okay? But if I click you're still broke. Anyway, I'll fix it. I'll find a way to fix it. Again, anybody that's watching now, or anybody that watches this later, or anybody that was watching earlier, I just want to say thank you for taking the time, whether it's 1 second, 1 minute, or you watch the entire video. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to come and interact on the live, watch the live. They are truly appreciated. One more, Zainab. So if you type I love holidays, I will show you all the good food and pool if you want to book, if you can. I'll definitely check that out, man. As I say, I don't know if it'll be this year that I go on my next holiday. It more than likely be next year with the family, but I do appreciate that, Zainab. And of course, if you want to tune in again, there'll be another. This happens twice a week, so I don't know if you subscribe, if it sends you a notification or anything like that. I'm not too sure. I think it sends you a notification if you subscribe. So if you want to subscribe, great. If not, that's fair enough. They are usually a bit more informative than this. Me and Zainab have just been having a chat about holidays and food. Zainab's a mad KFC eater, for anybody who's watching this now or watching this later. He loves a bit of KFC. I love a bit of KFC. I'm a bit hungry as well, to be completely honest. So I'm gonna go and get some food now. It's a bit late, but you gotta eat when you gotta eat, ain't you? And of course, check these out whenever you want. There's plenty of old lives that I've done on my channel, and there'll be plenty of new lives that I do. So there'll be another one, as I say, Friday or Saturday. Once I find out what works best, when I can fit 100% into the schedule, they'll be promoted like mental. So other than that, how's it going, Rolex? Sorry about the time, my friend. If you want to rewatch the video, there was loads of value at the front. I front loaded the value, and then this was just me literally being on this load for like 10-15 minutes, speaking with Zainab about food, UK and holidays. And now I think we're both hungry, we both want to go on holiday, and my website is still broken. So that's it. But yeah, other than that, guys, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you again for tuning in, and yeah, I appreciate you all.